Alright, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome in. This is BeaverNation.com back here with another video, and today we have our early NFL Week 1 predictions where we dive in here. We're going to give all of our games out early. Well, it's just me and Yeller playing in this pick show. It's not anybody else. The NFL pick show will be returning this season, as well as the analytics video. We did it both last year, so if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys go check out our NFL pick show from last year. Also, our analytics video, we did that last year as well, so make sure you guys go check it out. So yeah, make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe button, make sure you guys join the Discord and see all that fun stuff. Make sure you guys do join that. All links are in the description. The Discord links in the description. And then make sure you guys join the ESPN Fantasy by September 2nd. You guys have until September 2nd to join that. It's on ESPN. If you guys are new to ESPN Fantasy, it's just your email and password, and you should be able to get right in. I don't have any like specific codes or anything like that, since it's live to everybody. I don't really have any thing specific for that, but yeah, like I said, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. Make sure you join Discord. Like I said, just trying something new with the intro, just trying to get the intro in the video. So like I said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get to our picks. Like I said, Yeller is in this picks video as well, so make sure, because he wanted to hop on and give his picks as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the early NFL Week 1 picks. Alright, so kicking things off, we have Thursday Night Football between Dallas and the Eagles. And normally when I do the pick show, I normally have we normally just get everybody's picks, and I normally just press a button here on my computer and it'll just pop up on the screen. But for this video, I'm just gonna let everything roll out. Like I said, this is our early predictions here, but this is a pretty interesting Thursday Night Football game at the moment. Dallas, I'm expecting Dallas not to. I'm not really motivated about this team, about them really being a serious contender, but I am really motivated about their offense. Still got Dak Prescott. I like the addition of George Pickens. I'm really curious how him and CeeDee Lamb are going to work together. But this one here, we're both going to go with the Eagles. I'm going with the Eagles. Yeller's going with the Eagles. The Eagles will have their ring ceremony throughout in this game, so that's gonna be pretty epic to watch. But yeah, I just got the Eagles. They like I said, they won the Super Bowl last year, and their defense is really gonna take a big question this year, and let's see if they can get their defense around. I know they lost a lot of players last year, so how they're gonna adapt to that. But I like the Eagles here on Thursday Night Football in this rivalry. You know, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, like the Eagles still have their main key factors on offense, and their offense was brilliant the last year. So yeah, Yeller are gonna go the Eagles as well. I'm taking the Eagles, and I would be kind of shocked that the Eagles lose this game. Like I said, it's early on, and once we get into the pick show and stuff, some things could change. But for right now, we're both gonna go with the Eagles. And I normally would have my final score prediction and leagues predictions just like that, but I'm gonna save that until the season actually starts. So make sure you guys come join us on September 4th. Those series like to begin. But for right now, we're both gonna go with you. Okay, next up we got is the Chiefs at the Chargers, but this game will not be in Los Angeles. This game will be in Sao Paulo. And I know I put that 2024 logo, just ignore that. I tried to do the best I could for 2025, but it wasn't on there, okay? But maybe on when we get into the pick show actually stuff, I'm gonna have that updated. But yeah, we have a separate picture for the first time. I'm gonna go with KC. Yeller went with the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers could win this. I mean, they have an offense to keep up with KC. Their defense was absolutely spectacular last year, and that could be something with it. But when we look at the Chiefs, you know, they're coming off that Super Bowl loss last year. I'm expecting their experience. I don't really think Patrick Mahomes will just go to Sao Paulo just to lose that game. Obviously, I think this game should be close. One of the more nail-biter games of the week in Week 1. But I'm going to stick with my gut here. I'm going to take the safe option and go with the Chiefs. You know, Chiefs don't really lose a lot of Week 1 games. I mean, they have done recently against the Lions that 1 year. But besides that, they haven't really lost in a Week 1 game. I like my confidence with Kansas City. I still think the Chiefs are going to be the Chiefs. It's unfortunate to say it because everybody hates the Chiefs except for if you're not a Chiefs fan, of course you're going to hate the Chiefs. So that's so unfortunate with that. But I gotta just stick with my gut, man. I gotta go with Casey on this one. I do like Yeller picking the Chargers though. Like the Chargers have a legitimate shot to win this. Justin Herbert's playing out of his mind right now. Now I am curious about how that roster is going to be this year. They made a lot of changes this offseason, so we get to see how that looks for the moment. But for right now, so yeah, but I like so there is some reasonings that the Yeller could go with the Chargers, and I think that's a pretty simple explanation there. But he's going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to go with Casey on this one, and so this should be. All right, Bucks versus Falcons. We both ended up going with the Bucks in this one. I just feel more confident about the Bucks, man. Like that roster is gonna be so entertaining this year, and they were actually really good last year. The only reason why they didn't make it far in the playoffs is because, well, you could say because of injuries. And right now, I think the Buccaneers roster is just significantly better than the Atlanta Falcons. Baker Mayfield has played out of his mind last year. I'm very excited what he's going to do this year. And that's kind of why I'm just kind of on the Buccaneers motor this year. Like I'm really entertained to see what that team does this year. Also, the Falcons still have some good players too. Bijan Robinson. I think Kirk Cousins is still there for the moment. Drake London, but I don't think they have as much talent as Tampa Bay does. Plus, Tampa Bay is going to be looking at this game right here and getting revenge because remember Tampa Bay lost in Atlanta last year in one of the most heartbreaking fashions ever. But like I said, I'm very excited. I'm wondering when Chris Godwin is going to come back. I hope that he does return because he was so good. My gosh, Chris Godwin, he was so good before his unfortunate injury. But I like the Buccaneers roster a lot. I like their defense. I'm more leaning towards liking their defense now because their defense used to be terrible. Just like at this start of last year, it used to be terrible, but it got better throughout the years and it got better throughout the season progressed. And I really like that for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to take him here. Yeller's going to take him here as well. I really do like their team this year. I think they can go some ways. Same thing with the Falcons, but I really have just less expectations for them. So, but anyway, this Bucs team is amazing. I think they're going to be great this year. We're both rocking with the Tampa Bay. All right, next up, Cincy at Cleveland. And I think this one's one of the more obvious picks of the entire week. Now, I know that Cincinnati's defense has been a major problem throughout the whole season, and that's fine. If you want to say that, I get it, because Cincinnati's defense was, and let's be honest here, it was horrendous last year. Their defense was giving up points like it was nothing, and like I said in the bold predictions video, Cincinnati will have at least 3 games this year that they will score at least like 35 plus points and still lose because their defense is ass. But when you're playing against a team like the Cleveland Browns, who really don't know what they're really doing in their own front office, I mean, sorry to say it, Cleveland Browns fans, but let's be honest. But yeah, Cleveland, they're not going to do anything this year. I mean, let's be completely honest. They're not going to go anywhere. The Bengals are just by far the better team. Now, I know the Browns are really known to their defense, and their defense is normally good every single year. I got a few questions about this year, and especially after last year. I got some questions. I got some questions or concern for Cleveland. To be honest, I think Cincinnati's offense is just going to throw the rock all over, just all over the game. It doesn't matter what they do on the defensive side of the ball. It's just going to be the offense. It's going to be way too much for Cleveland to handle here. So we're both feeling pretty good about the Bengals in week 1 here, even if it's on the road. I'm curious what the Browns, what they're going to do this year and who they're going to start at quarterback. If we do see Ja'Marr Sanders, I think that will be the right option to go for the moment. But yeah, the Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, like that, Chase Brown, that's already too much for the Cleveland Browns defense to handle. Plus, their offense is going to be scoring the rock all over the place. Plus, like I said, I'm very curious about this Cincinnati team this year and what they're going to do. Obviously, they had a couple meltdowns last year on the defensive side of the ball, but like I said, their offense is capable of going into every single week and scoring 60 on you. So very curious about what Cincy is going to be this year, but we all know what we're going to give in Cleveland this year. So yeah, me and Yellow both will be the Bengals, and obviously we feel pretty good. All right, here's a pretty tricky one this week. Dolphins and the Colts. I kind of went back and forth with this one. I wasn't really comfortable about who I was going to pick here. Because it's just the reason is I don't know what to really expect from these two teams. I really don't. Like, if you look at the Dolphins, I mean, they lost some couple key players last year, like Raheem Mostert. I thought he really fit into that system really well, and he left. And I know they still have Stephon Chan, but like I said, who do you have other besides that? I think you kind of lost the key running back there, who was just good a couple seasons ago. And then you have the Colts here. The Colts are basically running it back with the same roster. Like, I look at the Colts roster from a year ago, and I just don't really see that many differences. You know what I mean? I just don't really see much. But Yeller is gonna go with the Colts here for an early pick. And now I do expect them to change that. As I'm not really expecting the Colts. I mean, they still have Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan Taylor is like a freak train on that team, man. Jonathan Taylor, he's been spectacular over the course of a couple years. I think he can honestly carry that Colts team. But man, I think I got to go with the Dolphins here because, where history goes with the Miami Dolphins, if they play them early on in the year, their offense is going to be explosive because everybody's healthy. So I was thinking like maybe Tyreek Hill. Now I am expecting Tyreek Hill to have a bigger year than what he did last year. Last year was kind of uncharacteristic for Tyreek Hill. And it's not really his fault either. It's because, defense has been on his ass and everything like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins here. It's not gonna be that cold, and clearly it shouldn't be that cold. Indianapolis, I like him. I like that Miami offense. To Jay Waddle. I just think their offense is gonna overwhelm the Colts here. Like I said, if this game is close, I would not be shocked at all. But yeah, but we do have two separate picks for this game. I'm just more on the Dolphin train. Like, I feel better about me picking the Dolphins than the Colts. I gotta question the Colts roster a little bit, and we'll talk about more in a different video once I get more information. But yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins. Y'all are going with the Colts. But like I said, I feel as my pick, I feel more comfortable about picking the Dolphins. Ooh, we got an interesting one here. Raiders and the New England Patriots. We're both actually going to go with the Patriots on this one. And here's the thing. I think the Patriots, and I think I also said this in my bold prediction video, but I think the Patriots are going to be one of the more improved teams in the NFL. Not saying that they're like a Super Bowl contender on that, because no, they're really far away from that. Let me tell you, the Patriots, they are far away from that, like Super Bowl contender. But this team's going to get better. They're going to get better. I already see it. The Patriots really did a good job this year of really building into a roster a little bit more. Drake May, I think he's going to have an excellent year this year. I'm really motivated about the guy. I do think Stephon Diggs is going to fit into that system really well. As a number one wide receiver, I really do like that combination with him. I think it's going to get a lot of more opportunities, and I do think this Patriots defense is going to be a lot better than what it was last year. Not saying it was bad last year, because it wasn't, but I think it's going to be a lot better than what it was last year. For the Raiders actually do have a pretty, I'm not going to say exciting, but it has a pretty interesting team. Brock Powers is coming off one of the best rookie season tight ends that I think we ever seen before, and let's be completely honest about that. I am excited about Alexander Madison, the new running back. No. Who's the new running back that the Raiders got in the draft? I don't know. Like I said, I'll get some more information on that. But whoever got the Raiders got the draft with the running back position, I am really excited to watch that. But and Geno Smith, I don't know how I'm feeling about Geno Smith with the Raiders. I'm kind of shocked that he went there in the first place. But there's still a lot of questions for his Raiders team, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. I know you still have Max Crosby, and I know that's still like the main key point of your defense, but I don't know why, but I'm just feeling more with the Patriots. Like, I'm feeling more like this team is going to be one of the more improved teams in all of football. So I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me hanging on that New England hump ride here, or whatever people call it. But like I said, I'm real with the Patriots, and Yeller looks like he has something going because he's going with the Patriots as well. But anyway, this should be a pretty interesting game in my opinion so far. I could change all these picks by the time we get to the pick show and stuff, and Yeller could too. But for right now, we're both gonna go. All right, next up we have Arizona taking on against New Orleans, and I don't know, man. I think this one's another obvious one here. So yeah, with the Cardinals, and like I said, I am very interested to watch this Cardinals team. I'm pretty excited, especially after what we saw last year, the improvements we saw from them last year. Obviously Trey McBride. Did that man have himself a year last year? He was terrific. Marvis Harrison Jr. is going to the second year, so I think he's going to be better this year than what he was last year. You already know what Kyler Murray and James Conner bring to the table. You already know what the offense is capable of. And the Cardinals actually had a lot of really good offensive performances last year. And that just kind of make me a little bit motivated towards the Cardinals this year. I don't think this team's going to be bad at all. I think this team is actually going to be this team could potentially be an above 500 team. The Cardinals I think they are that good. Meanwhile, for the Saints, like I said, I really have no expectations from the Saints, man. I really don't, especially after you saw Derek Carr retiring. I think I said this in the bold predictions. I don't know why, but this is my third time bringing this up about the bold prediction video. But anyway, I think the Saints are going to be one of the worst teams in the entire NFL. I don't think they're going to be good once and forever. And they do have some talent, like Martin Lloyd Scaling. They still have Alvin Kamara, but besides them two, I don't really know who's really on that team to really make me feel motivated about them. And meanwhile, looking at Arizona, I think they have one of the more underrated rosters in the entire league. So I think this one's pretty obvious here because knowing how bad that we think New Orleans is going to be this year, I gotta go with Arizona. I think, and Yellow's gonna go Arizona as well. I think Arizona's they're just a more complete team. In my opinion, their offense should be able to get around the Saints defense pretty well, and I'm kind of expecting Arizona just to kind of blow them out of the water here. So, like I said, this was probably one of the more easier picks of the week so far, but yeah, we're both gonna go with Arizona here. I think that one is pretty. All right, next up here we have. I'll be honest here, and I don't really want to say this, but this is like my biggest question mark of the week because literally I cannot predict this game right now. The Steelers and the Jets has to be one of the two most confusing teams in the entire league going into this year. So we already know what the Steelers bring to the table. They bring their defense, But here's the thing: the question is their offense. I don't know what their offense is going to look like this year. I really don't. Now, I am expecting them to sign Aaron Rodgers eventually when it does happen. I am expecting that to happen. Not right now, but I'm expecting it to happen. But, man, this one could go either way. Like, the Jets being at home, they have Justin Fields now. They still have that same offense besides Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. And this will be kind of crazy if Aaron Rodgers does go to the Steelers because this will be his return to the Jets game. This would be a revenge game for him. But I gotta go with the Steelers, man. Like week one, their defense. Like I said, I am kind of, but I will say this about the Steelers. I'm not really motivated about their offense this year, especially after, I don't know what the Steelers did in the draft, because whatever they did, it was awful. I don't like what they did once and forever in the draft. And let's be honest, this realistically could be the Steelers' first losing season. Steelers fans, don't get mad at me, but let's be honest, your team right now is more questionable right now than what it was in the last few years. But especially, like I said, you don't have a quarterback. Right now, you're starting Mason Rudolph as your starting quarterback. I don't really like that right now. I do think you have to change that at ASAP. But I just have a lot of concern about this Steelers offense this year. So I easily could go Jets, and I might change, and I could change it. Like I said, this is just early predictions. I could change it. I could change it to the Jets because I expect their offense, and I do think the Jets are way better of an offense right now than the Pittsburgh Steelers. But like I said, I'm gonna go with the Steelers for right now just because of their defense. I think their defense will come in with a big spot. I don't think this game really necessarily would be a high scoring game. I think this game will be one of the lowest scoring games of the week, but I will probably go with the Steelers right now unless they get another move. If they get Aaron Rodgers, then yeah, I might go Steelers because then I might be a little bit more motivated by their offense. But for right now, I'm really not. And then for the Jets, their defense could take a little hit this year, but like I said, like I said before, I trust that offense way more than I do to the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. So this one could be one of the more interesting games of the week. Yeller ended up going with the Jets for this one. So this pick is just going on top of your head right now. So for right now, we have a good old split, and I mean that's probably what it should be. All right, next up we got the Giants at Washington, and we both ended up going with Washington on this one. Not really a surprise. I mean, Washington, they're at home in week 1. Washington actually performs a lot better at home, especially after what we saw last year. Washington had a hell of a year last year. They get Jay Daniels at the quarterback position at the draft, and they go all the way down to the NFC Championship game, upsetting like 2 like good teams on the road in the playoffs. Like that's incredible. So I think the Commanders are starting up something new here. Like I think that like the Commanders, they're getting really close to like a win right now mode team. Like for a championship. Like they're getting closer and closer. Am I expecting them to get there this year? No, but can I see in the next couple of years? Absolutely. I can see the Commanders going to the Super Bowl with these next couple of years because their roster is just so complete. So it's getting complete. It's getting even more complete this year. They're running it back with the same core, and plus they add Deebo Samuel. And the in the draft, I mean not the draft, but they added Deebo Samuel in the trade deadline, so we get to see how that goes. But yeah, like I said, I'm more motivated about this Commanders team. Jay Daniels had a hell of a year last year. I think he's going to be even better this year than what he was last year. Because he got more experience, and I think he's ready to roll now. Plus, he has Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin. He has a good offense behind him. So it's going to be very exciting to watch Washington, the team this year. And I'm all for him this year. Like I said, I don't think... plus, this kind of feels good for Washington fans because they haven't been able to see this for a long time. So it's great to see him when you have a good team behind you. Meanwhile, for the Giants, man, I am expecting more. I am expecting a little bit more from the Giants this year. Obviously, Malik Neighbors, he was absolutely fantastic last night or last year. You get Russell Wilson now in the system, and I do think that's a much better quarterback for Malik Neighbors to work around with. Plus, their defense could be I heard the New York Giants defense could be a little sneaky this year, and if it is, don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. The Giants defense are good. So I am expecting new things for the Giants. I am expecting them to be better than what they were last year. But we're both going Washington Commanders. Like I said, Commanders being at home with this one, being the more fresher team, being the more experienced team. Especially us predicting that Washington should be the better team going into this game. I have all trust in Washington, so we're both gonna go with the. All right, next up here we have another interesting one here. We got the Panthers taking on against Jacksonville. I don't know, man. I really had to think about this game. I really had to think back, look at this game. I don't know. This is another one of those games that I just don't know what to predict here. Jacksonville, I do like Travis Hunter in that receiving game with what's his name? Travis Hunter now being there with Brian Thomas. I think them two are not right now, but I think them two are eventually going to be a really good wide receiver duo, especially if they stick together. But the Jacksonville Jaguars, besides that, and Trevor Lawrence, now I am expecting better from Trevor Lawrence. He did get injured last year multiple times, so I can't even blame him for last year. But I know a lot of people like to put some negativity on Trevor. I'm not that type of person. I like to stay calm, see what he does, But yeah, I think Jacksonville is going to improve this year. Like I said, I do have some questions about their team overall, whether they'll do at the tight end position or are they going to stick with Brandon Strange, and their defense. I do have a question about their defense too. You're looking at Carolina. I am kind of motivated for the Panthers this year. I'm being honest, I think they're the second best team in their division. I'll be completely honest. I think Bryce Young is going to have a really good year this year. Trevor Hubbard, he was absolute. I don't know where he came from, but he was absolutely spectacular last year. If he keeps this up, I do think Carolina should have more offensive weapons. And plus, Adam Thielen, I know he's getting old, but Adam Thielen, he could very much have an impact on this Carolina Panthers offense. And their defense is going to get better too. And Carolina's, I mean, it's probably not going to be perfect, but let me tell you, Carolina's defense was so bad last year that. But yeah, Carolina's defense was horrendous last year. But anyway, we can say that they're probably going to have more improvements this season, and if that does happen, that will be exciting for them. But for right now, I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers. The other going to go with the Jags, being this game at home at Jacksonville. But this is another game I could easily switch. I just got to see like which rosters is who and what's going on right now for the moment. But right now, I feel really good about my pick here. I do feel good about taking Carolina on the road. I really do like the Panthers this upcoming season. Not as like a contender, but kind of like one of the more like improved teams in the league. So I'm gonna go with them. Like I said, if you want to pick Jacksonville, get it. I understand it. You get a healthy Trevor Lawrence, and that could be really good because we seen Trevor Lawrence at full strength a couple years ago. But hey, but this one's gonna be good. East teams here is gonna be good. So make sure you guys buckle up because the season's about to start. But anyway, have a good old fashioned split here. Y'all gonna go with the Jags. I'm gonna go with Carolina. All right, next up, Tennessee at Denver, and like I said about Arizona and the Saints and the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals, this is going to be one of the more obvious picks of the week. Yes, we're both going Denver. Denver is just a way better of a team. Okay, they're just way better. And basically every single aspect. Quarterback position, Bo Nix, fantastic last year. I'm expecting to keep it up. He's out of Cortland Sutton now. You still now have Evan Ingram on that team. Their offense is going to be 10 times better. And that defense, let me tell you, Denver's defense is literally going to be a brick wall this year. I don't think anybody really is going to get past that defense unless you're a team that executes really well, like KC. And yeah, the KC or the Eagles now because I can put them in there. But yeah, Denver is going to be a hard team to beat this year. They're really going to be hard because of their defense. Like I said, their defense is going to be like a brick wall. It's going to be really hard to score on that defense. And their offense got more talent onto the roster. So Denver's going more on towards being on that right direction. Being like a Super Bowl contender. Meanwhile, for Tennessee, I just don't know what to really expect from Tennessee this year. I'll be completely honest. Brand new quarterback. I just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to expect. But I don't think first of all, I don't even think Tennessee has enough talent on the roster to compete with teams like this. But like, I am interested to see how Alex Ward does with that team. I am interested about him, the quarterback. I am interested to see about him and see how he goes. But if I'm being honest, this is just kind of one of the more one-sided affair pick that we're kind of on here. Obviously, I would be surprised if one of us even picked Denver, or when we get to the pick show, anybody picks Tennessee, especially being in Mile High, like that, in the altitude, that's just something else, man. So we're both gonna go with Denver here. I think this one was another one of those pretty. All right, next we have a game that could go either way in my eyes, but we have the Niners going into Seattle. I don't know. I don't really know what to predict in this game. Sure, the Niners probably do have the more offensive talent with because they still have Brock Purdy. I believe. I'm not gonna guarantee anything because I don't want to. It's too early to. But I can do it week one predictions. But yeah, CMC maybe could be back. I am expecting him to be back at this moment. So still got him. Still got Brock Purdy. You still got George Kittle, and I do have some questions about the Niners defense this year because I don't know what they did this offseason, but they took their entire defense, their Super Bowl winning defense, well, not Super Bowl winning defense, but their Super Bowl caliber defense, and they just took that away. Just took that and just threw it right away. And maybe that has something to do with cap space. Maybe they just didn't have the money to pay all those players, but yeah, who knows? San Francisco kind of had a questionable offseason. Meanwhile, for Seattle, Seattle's basically going to this year like a new, completely different team. Now they do have Sam Darnold on quarterback, and he had a pretty damn good year last year, but that was the first time we've seen that in his entire career. Is he really going to do that with a team that has less offensive firepower than what Minnesota had just a year ago? But Cooper Kupp being addition to that team, I mean, he's probably going to take the secondary role of that team. I do like what I saw from Jackson Smith-Njigba last year, as well as I do like their team. Like they have underrated running room. Seattle, they have a very underrated receiving room. I just don't think I just don't think that team is really built for success right now. Like I do think I don't think they're going to be bad at all. See, I don't think they're going to be bad, but I'm not really expecting them to be that team as they were. Like I'm not really expecting them to make the playoff or any type of playoff push or anything like that. So we're both going to go with the Niners here. Like I said, we know more about them. I think a lot of people are sleeping on San Francisco, and I'm a Rams fan saying that. So I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I think the Rams are going to win the division, but San Francisco could take advantage because they do have an easy schedule this year, and this will be one of the more harder opponents this year. So I can see a scenario that San Francisco loses. But me and Yeller, we're both gonna go right now for Niners. Like I said, we could change it, but for right now, we're both gonna go with San Francisco winning this game on. All right, next one here, we have a really good game here. Detroit taking on against Green Bay, and if I'm being honest, I went back and forth with this pick. I really did. I went back and forth, and up to right now, I'm still going back and forth with it because this game could go either way. Now you know what Detroit's going to do. Detroit is going to try to kick everybody's ass in the regular season because that's exactly what they did last year. And if you're a Detroit Lions fan, that was really fun to watch. The Lions go out there and spanking the shit whoever they play. But like I said, I think we already know what we're getting from Detroit. Detroit's one of the best offensive teams. Matter of fact, I actually gave them the award last year. They were the best offensive team in the entire league last year. And that offense is almost impossible to stop because they have so many good damn weapons on that team. Man. Just look at last year. We saw it all last year. So we kind of already know where we're getting from the Lions. Especially, I'm wondering how they're going to do with their coordinators being gone over there for Detroit. So that's going to be something to watch out for. To see how their offense generates with the new coordinators over there and how their defense wraps up. Now, I know the good thing for Detroit is they're getting their defensive players back, so that's really good. Meanwhile, for the Packers, this team is going to be really good as well. I really like Jordan Love and really love the offense that he's going to run with. Josh Jacobs was spectacular last year, so he could be in a pretty good spot with him. Also, the receiving game for the Packers is kind of questionable right now. You don't. I mean, it's not that perfect, but it's still it's decent at least. And then their defense is really good as well. So these are two teams I'm looking at this year that could be really good this upcoming season. That probably could be one of the favorites to win the division. But I'm gonna go with Detroit here. I think their offense is unstoppable to stop for any defense. I think their offense should be take care of business, and their defense is getting healthy. And the Lions were actually undefeated on the road last year, which kind of makes me motivated to go with the Lions here. So it's actually pretty good that they go into Lambeau Field earlier in the year than later in the year. So I'm gonna go with Detroit right now. I feel pretty good, comfortable about the pick. But this is one of those games that people are gonna be looking at it and having a hard time to decide, and that should be the key factor here. So I love both teams. I love what both teams are doing going through the year, but I'm gonna take the Detroit Lions, and the other's gonna go with the Packers. That's completely understandable, but we have a good old-fashioned split here, and this probably should be one of the better games. All right, next up we got the Texans and my Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to say about the Texans first before I really get to the Rams, but the Texans, like I said, we already know what we're getting from them. They're basically running it back with the same roster. I am curious for the Texans, though, if they're going to get Tank Dell back. Now, I know he just suffered a serious injury last year, and I still feel bad for the man. I hope he recovers in time for this game, but they still have him if he's available in this game. It's just kind of questionable. That's kind of why I'm leaning more towards the Rams here. And you still have Nico Collins, still have C.J. Stroud. Now, I'm wondering how C.J. Stroud does this year. Obviously, and I know people are going to say this, and I think this is actually kind of true. He kind of had an off season last year. He didn't really perform at his best last year, but Joe Mixon did. Joe Mixon actually had a pretty good, damn good year with that team. And I'm really interested to see how their defense does again because Nico Ryans and the way he led that defense was absolutely spectacular. So the Texans, they should be kind of more like the same team going to this year. For the Rams, I think the Rams are going to be one of the better teams in the entire NFL. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Rams fan. I'm saying that because I actually do think that's a real life possibility. Matthew Stafford, he's still throwing the ball like he's like 24 years old, something like that. He looks like he still has some young legs in him. You saw him making plays last year. By the way, I think this Rams offense is going to be one of the best offenses in the entire NFL next year, and there could be a little bit turnover problems with the Rams like we had last year, but I think that's going to be fixed up this year. I think our offense is going to be more set up, more complete. Kyron Williams is going to fucking bomb last year. I think he's going to be absolutely spectacular. I think Devontae Adams is going to be a really good punt 1-2 combo with Puka Nacua. Very interested to see that. And I wonder what the Rams are going to do at the tight end position. Are they going to start Tyler Higbee or the guy that we drafted? But I think you stick with Higbee right now. He still has some questions on that side of the ball. And I'm really entertained to watch the Rams defense. Jared Burris, Fisk. I'm excited to see that defense again. Because that defense was really good as the season came to an end. I just have more confidence in the Rams right now. I have more confidence in the ability to score, do a lot of more things on the offensive side of the ball. And so we're both going to go with the Rams here. Like I said, this could be a very interesting game here because we know the Texans. I know what they can do. They're a team that can push you, but like I said, in LA. Before Sunday football, I'm going with the Rams, man. I really am confident about this team, and I think this is the team right now to win for the Los Angeles Rams, especially when you look at the Houston Texans and what they did last year. And you could say last year was kind of an off season for the Texans, and that's fair. And I think it kind of was, even though they won the division, they didn't look as good as they were supposed to. But like I said, I have more confidence about my boys. I think we're going to be really good this year. So we're both going to take the Rams for the moment. But like I said, it's early. We can change picks. But for right now, we're both going to go with LA being at home. Ooh, okay, and on to Sunday night football. The Ravens at the Bills. Oh my god. Oh my god, man. This is probably one of the hardest picks to pick out the entire week. And I'm probably going to go back and forth with this up until like week 1. So, overall, both of these two teams and Kansas City is basically the front runners of the AFC. They're good. Like, these two teams right here and the Chiefs, like I said, they're the front runners of the AFC, meaning they're going to be the AFC favorites to come out of the division. Now, when I did check, the Bills were kind of more of the favorite to come out of the division. Well, I mean, which is kind of understandable, but man, this was tough, man. Like, you could go either way with this. You could go Baltimore because, they have Lamar Jackson. They have Derrick Henry. Now, I am a little bit questioning about their receiving room, but I do like what they did. I think they kind of upgraded that. I do think Zay Flowers is going to be better. And they did get D-Hop, a veteran, so I actually do like that addition on their team. But remember that Buffalo, like, at the same time, man, and the Ravens defense before I get to the Bills, the Ravens defense is absolutely spectacular. Now, they did struggle last year at the start, but it got better and better and better throughout the year of progress. And I'm expecting that Ravens defense to be really good. They were terrible against the pass last year, so I am going to be curious about what that looks like. But anyway, look at the Bills, man. But here's a really main reason why I got to go with the Bills. And I know the Ravens are looking for revenge here for the playoff loss in the same building, but the reason why I'm going to go with the Bills is because it's in the Mafia. It's Sunday night. You're playing against the MVP and Josh Allen. This one's tough, man. Like, it's really hard to walk into Buffalo and win. I mean, it's not really the Chiefs, but in the playoffs, but it's not easy to go into Buffalo on primetime football and win that game. And this is a really good Sunday football game. This is really good, and I'm glad this is a Sunday football game. And the Bills actually struggled against the run last year, so you can look at that and say, "Oh my gosh, I want to pick the Ravens because of that category." But I got to go with the Bills, man. Sunday football in the Mafia. This game could go either way, okay? It could go either way, and I wouldn't be shocked about either outcome here, but I gotta go with the home team. Yeller's all about revenge, so I know he's gonna go with the Ravens, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bills one, man. But this is a pick I can easily change, easily by week 1. If we get to week 1 by this, I can easily change this, man. I can easily change it, but I'm gonna go with the Bills right now, and y'all's gonna go with the Ravens. And like I said, this is gonna be one of the harder. Once we get into week 1 picks, this is actually gonna be one of the harder picks. Actually, I don't even know why I said actually, but this is gonna be the hardest pick of the week for me to decide on. But man, both of these teams are gonna be so excited. Like I can see this game being right now. This game is gonna be a popcorn movie from start to finish, and then it's gonna be a war to see what comes out of this board. But man, this is gonna be a hell of a game, man. I can't wait to get to it. And that's all. The NFL season needs to get here right now because this game's gonna be fantastic. But anyway, I gotta go with the Bills right now for the moment. Y'all are gonna go with the Ravens, but this is gonna be a hell of a game, and it's gonna be hard to sign off. Alright, and on to Monday Night Football. Last but not least, we got the Vikings at the Bears. And you guys know what you're going to get from the Bears. It's every single year. The Bears are the most questionable team every single year. And the only reason why I say that is because we don't know what we're getting with them. We don't. We don't know what their offense is going to look like. We don't know what their defense is going to look like. It does not matter what roster goes over there. We don't know what that roster, we do not know what that team is going to look like. And I don't think this is necessarily the worst Monday Night Football game. Obviously, the Bears made some moves around this offseason. I mean, they still have Caleb Williams, but besides that, I mean, they still have Devontae Swift. They still have that offense, still have DJ Moore, all that stuff. So I can see the Bears maybe being slightly better than they were last year, but here's the thing, because they're playing in a very tight division. They really are. And this is a really tight division opponent here, the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are going to be absolutely spectacular next year. But I think the key for the Vikings this year is basically on JJ McCarthy, because JJ McCarthy has a hell of a team to ride with them. If he's good, the Vikings are going to be a championship contender team. Like no question about that. They are, because I think the Vikings are that good. And especially being with their games being at the bank this year, those are gonna be hard to win, because it's the bank. I would say it's probably the hardest stadium to win in the NFL. So, but yeah, I especially after looking at last year and what they done last year with Sam Darnold, I'm kind of motivated to watch the Vikings team. And like I said, if JJ McCarthy can be at least average, I do think they can be really, really good of a football team this year. Plus, we're running it back with the same roster, which I do think that's kind of where you wanted to go, because when you look at last year was a huge success for the Minnesota Vikings last year. Obviously, we saw a lot of fireworks on offense with them last year. Like I said, before last year, I said I really liked the addition of Aaron Jones with that team, and I think he made a significant impact. Justin Jefferson was incredible. That receiving room was incredible. Their defense was absolutely phenomenal. Brian Flores running it, and he's back there once again this year running it. So I'm not really expecting too many changes from the Vikings this year. I'll be kind of surprised if they were a really bad team this year. So, but my trust level is definitely more on the Vikings right now. Like I said, I could trust the Bears a little bit, but I just can't trust them. Like I said, they're every single year we expect them to be good, and then they're just the same confusing ass team every single year. Like you just do not know what you're gonna get out of them. Like they have potential to be good, but like I said, we just don't know what we're gonna get out of them. So for right now, I'm gonna go with Minnesota. Y'all are gonna go with Minnesota as well. I don't think Eller's gonna pick against Minnesota this year. I think he told me that once. He said that I don't know if I'm gonna pick against the Vikings this year, because the Vikings just look so good, so good down on paper. So we'll see how it goes anyway. But anyway, Monday Night Football should be a pretty interesting game here, but we're both going to go with Minnesota. Alright, everybody, and that's going to do it for NFL early predictions with me and Yeller. So like I said, if you guys haven't been already, make sure to hit the like, subscribe button. If you guys enjoyed this video in general and all of our content, make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe button. I do appreciate your support on our road to 500 subscribers, so make sure you guys please do so. Please help us get to that goal. I really do appreciate if you would. But like I said, big shows, everything will be returning this year. So if you guys do want to play, if you guys want me to live, just let me know and we'll go ahead and get you right in. But anyway, guys, I'm hop off, get this thing in so you guys can watch it on time. I do appreciate you guys for being here on the channel. Appreciate you guys a lot. But like I said, I'm hop off, get this thing in so you guys can watch it on time. This is BigRainNation.com. Peace out. Stay safe. We'll see y'all next time. Peace out.